and welcome back. In today's planner tutorial, we are going to be looking at our brand new budget tracker. Now this is Budget Tracker for Teens. It really can be for any young adult. It's mainly just a simple budget planner, not with loans and mortgages and a lot of bills and stuff. So this is just basic. And today it's actually Kira doing the tutorial for this. This planner was really made out of my idea because I am trying to track my savings and have a whole budget for me, and I don't have a lot of bills, but I still have to pay for things like my car and gas and stuff. So I wanted a tracker that was super simple that could keep track of what I personally needed. And I thought that other teens my age would probably benefit from something like this. So as we get started, we have our welcome letter, which is in all of our planners, just kind of telling you a little bit about our story and about what you can expect in this planner. We have the tutorial page, which is obviously you found that and you're watching it right now. We start with our year in review page. What I would use this page for is to mark when insurance is due. So mine's due on the first day of every month. So maybe I go and highlight what day of the month it is. And something else to note, this video is being done on a digital iPad, but it will be available in a planner paper version, so you can highlight and write and mark up whatever you want on paper. But for me, you can always take the PDF that you receive when you purchase the planner and still use it on GoodNotes, just not in like a book format. So that's just an FYI. But back to the planner. So like I said, you can highlight dates that bills are due. You can highlight when your check comes in. So I know on the second week, I get paid every 2 weeks. So maybe you highlight the second week when you're expecting a paycheck, just so you can track and make sure that they come in every month. So on the next page is the budget tracker, and this is mainly for an annual view. So I wanted to know how much can I spend each week. So I have your starting savings total. So say you have, let's just say $1,000 in savings right now. So you would write $1,000, and you can always be changing this if you earn more, and you can use it every year. And then your fixed annual expenses. So that's things like bills, gas, or insurance, anything like that. So say that's $500, and that's totally personal to you, and that's something that you would subtract out of your starting savings total. And then your set annual income. So I know a lot of kids that are my age and teens don't really have a set annual income, so it's kind of hard to determine. But if you do have one, you can put that there, or you can put a general idea. So if you know you work 10 hours a week and you get $10 each week, you can just multiply that by 52 or however many weeks you work. So you would write that amount right there. So just for easy terms, I'll make it 500. And then you would take this total. So you have $1,000 minus 500 plus 500. So you're still at $1,000. And then I would divide it by 52 and get whatever that equals. I'm not sure, I don't have a calculator. But whatever that equals, you would put right here. So let's just say, in simple terms, let's make it $3. Obviously, that is really hard to survive off of $3 a week, but this is just for an example. But this would be what you could spend every week if you didn't want to, if you were just looking in a whole term and you're not trying to save anything or put anything to the side. But if you wanted to spend all your money that you had in 52, for an entire year, 52 weeks, you would spend $3 a week. So that was really important to me, to know how much I can spend and make it through a whole year of time. So this is the budget tracker annual. The other tracker is a spending tracker, and this is weekly or monthly. It can even be annual, however far out you plan. So in this one, you would track stuff like insurance, gas, all of the things that you need to pay weekly. So insurance, I pay as a monthly payment, but each week I know that if I divide my total insurance by how much I owe weekly, by how many weeks are in the month, then that'll get me just a weekly general of how much I pay in insurance. So say weekly, it's $20. So you'd write that there. And then each week in gas, say you pay another $20. So you can write that there. And then in your phone bill, maybe you pay $50 a week for your phone bill and your internet plan or whatever. Extras are stuff like food, shopping. I know shopping is a big thing that I spend on. Anything like that you can put here and say I spent $30 this week. And for earnings, say this week I worked 10 hours, so maybe I made $100. And then you can write your total down here. So if these little subtract means that you subtract that from your earnings. So I made $100, but I spent 30 and 50 and 20 and 20. So whatever that comes out to, you'd write it here. Again, I don't have a calculator, so we're just going to say that I was minus $20. So I spent negative $20. So then I would circle 20, and I know that this week I lost $20 as far as my savings. Like I spent an extra $20 than what I made. So that's just something to keep track of, to know maybe if you're doing the savings tracker and you want to know how much you're spending weekly compared to what your budget is. That's a way to track that. Or maybe you came out $20 extra compared to what you earned. So then you can circle the positive, and that's a good day for you because you came out $20 in the positive. Our others tracker is a savings tracker. So this is in the grand scheme of things. You want to keep track of how much you're earning towards spending towards something. So maybe this is your college fund savings, or maybe you're saving up to buy a car, or it doesn't even have to be something big like that. It could just be you really want a new iPad, and so you're saving up for that. So whatever it is, you can put your dream amount saved, or like your goal. So maybe your goal is to spend $1,000 or to save $1,000 for whatever, that new phone, that new PlayStation, that new dress, whatever it is. And then there's 10 spots right here. I tried to make it 10, that way it was easy for you to kind of keep track of. And then, so what you do is, so if we have $1,000, that is our goal amount, and we have 10 little spaces, then each space would be worth $100. So you could write 100, so you know what each box is worth. And then the way I would use this is I would shade, that's the eraser. I'd shade, so say I saved $100. So that's $100 closer to my goal. You could also use this if you have like an odd amount up here. If you have like your new car is $3,654, some odd amount like that, you could just use these as ideas and just like general views. Like they don't each have to be worth a certain amount. They could just be, if your goal is 3,000 and you saved about 1,500, you can just shade up to the halfway mark. That way you have a relative idea, okay, I'm about halfway, which is a really good just idea and motivation for you if you know you're almost there, or you're halfway there, or you have a long way to go. Just knowing how hard you have to work And maybe that's a good idea for your spending tracker to maybe you can even subtract money each week from your spending to put towards your savings tracker. So back here we have another spending tracker. This goes hand in hand with this spending tracker. It's a way for you to add up the totals for your gas and extras and stuff. So over here you can write down your food bills. So say I went to Moe's and I spent $5 at Moe's. And then I went to Wendy's and I spent $15 at Wendy's. This way you can add up your oddballs. So then I know this is $20. So I spent $20 total in food. Excuse my handwriting, I know it's not very good. So that way when you go back to your spending tracker for your total, you can just write the 20 and you don't have to write these oddballs. Or maybe you have all of your receipts from things that you spent during the week. If you went to Dave & Buster's one day and you found that receipt, and then you also went roller skating, maybe you could add that here and have all your oddball numbers. So you spent 15 at Dave & Buster's, and then you spent 25 rollerblading. That way you can add it up. So this is kind of like a little like a scrap sheet to kind of keep track of everything that you're spending each week. So other would be stuff like your shopping, or maybe even gas, or gas could even be in bills. Whatever you need, you can change these categories to. By all means, feel free to like scratch it off and put your own title. Maybe you just want this to be gas. Maybe you don't have any other big bills that you need to keep, or maybe you want this to be shopping. Feel free to totally personalize this. That's what we're hoping out of this planner, is that you can customize this, really make it for you in any way that you want. Sorry about that. And so here we have a notes grid, but it's a dot sheet. So we want you to be able to make sure you're adding right and keeping everything in track. So with these dots, it's helpful for math. So you could make your little box, and it's kind of more helpful. You could even take a ruler. I don't have a ruler right here, so it's kind of hard to make a straight line, but it's easier than normally. So you can maybe like make a section and make this your gas. And it's just a little easier to keep your math straight. So if you're doing something like long division or anything, any kind of harder math, you can keep it in line. So like 4 and then 10. Hopefully you can do that mental math, but if you can't, that's what the dot grid's for. And see how those dots kind of help me keep them all in track. So that's just another way to use this sheet. You could just use a scratch paper and just kind of write your numbers wherever you please, however you think to make it. But the dots are helpful, especially if you want to section something off. So maybe that's your shopping section or whatever. And this is another just note sheet. As an addition, maybe you like lines better. Maybe you want to write out your whole bill. So if you had, say $100 paid to such and such a brand, like Geico Insurance, and you want to write like the date that you paid it, maybe like 8/19. So maybe that's the date that you have to pay it, or you just want to keep track of all your food bills and how much you spent, or the date is a really good idea for this page. That way you can keep track of when you spent it. There's a lot of different uses for this page, so feel free, use it however you please. And that's the whole point behind this planner. Like I said, use it whichever way helps you. Maybe you only need a spending tracker and maybe you're not trying to save right now. But the glory of this is that when you buy the planner, you get all the pages included. So these will hopefully give you some helpful hints on how to use this planner, and maybe you can come up with your own ideas. Feel free to let us know on our Instagram page at Life Edit and Design. Any ideas, we'd love to hear them, or how you use the planner in your creative way. But that is all for today. So I hope you learned something, and if you have any questions or concerns or just comments, feel free to contact us on either our Instagram page or on our Etsy shop, both at Life Edit and Design. And we look forward to hearing from you. Bye.